It's fall. Outside the leaves are dying, and so is my love for these books. Hi friends, welcome to the Eerie Fairy Tales. My name is Letty. Today I have a little bit of a different video planned. I was going to do my August wrap-up. However, I've been in kind of a bad mood all day and it just didn't feel right to do the wrap-up because I read so many good books in August and I just don't want to review really good books in a bad mood. It's just not fair to the books, you know? But what is conducive for a bad mood is an unhaul, so that's what we're gonna do. I have no idea how many books I have. I have a giant box here that I've been collecting. I've been putting books in ever since I moved, so we'll find out how many it is. My guess would be maybe 50 or so. I will be listing most of these books on my Pango account once I get one started, so I will be linking that once I get that all started and ready to go. So this is just going to be a bunch of books. I'll go through them quickly why I'm unhauling them. There are a handful that I am only unhauling because I got better copies or editions of. So they're really good books. I just got better copies of them. Now in the future, what I would like to do for my unhauls is kind of take you with me through the shelves, and I'm going to have a little series and I'm going to call it Keeper or Sweeper. And I'll do a little taste test of the books that I'm not quite sure about. Maybe read a paragraph, a chapter, or however long it takes to get the true idea if I want to go ahead and read it or not. I know that if there's a book that, like, there's always another book that I would rather read instead, then that to me is a good sign that I'm probably never going to read it. So for this round, we're not doing the Keeper or Sweeper, but I will do that on my next one. Now, if any of these are your favorites, or you think I'd like them, or you would like to see a review of them, then please let me know and I'll reconsider. All right, so giant box. What do we got here? Some of these are going to be kind of a surprise to me as well because they've been in here for maybe a few months or so. All right, first one is going to be Fox by Nadine Brands, and this was actually in my most recent haul video. What was it that I said in my A to Z book tag about a bad bookish habit, hauling and then unhauling? Yeah, sorry. It's just I had so many books since then that I'd rather read. This just has to go. The Siren's Call by Alana Williams. This I did read in June for a couple of readathons, which was nice. I got some points and, I got some points for that. However, it's not something that I would really recommend to anyone. It is a cute story, I would say, for somebody like a middle grade level. However, it's not something that I would either recommend. I don't know if anybody else thinks about this, but the books I keep on my shelves, of course, they're for me, but I also like to think about if any friends or family were to come over, I'd like to be able to say, hey, take a look at my shelves and pick out a book to read. And if I wouldn't feel comfortable recommending it, then I don't want to keep it on my shelf. So this has to go. Oh, this next set here, this is 3 books. This is Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instruments. I got the first, oh, that's not the first one. The first one, City of Glass, oh no, City of Bones. So this is City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass. Now I found this one at the local library for a couple bucks. I picked it up. Now I had no idea. I had no idea who the author was or what this whole thing was about. I know that's bad, but I didn't know at the time, okay? And also, for some reason, I totally missed the whole book 2 thing. So I get it home and I'm like, oh, I see on the back, oh, there's 2 other books, so it's a trilogy. So I'm like, okay, let me get the other 2 books, right? So I get the other 2 books. And then I realize, oh no, there's actually 6 books in the series. And then if you want to continue on with the story, then basically there's 15 books in total that you'd read. And there's just too many other books that I want to read. And these are really chunky. And I figure if I ever get around to reading these or have the desire to, then I can just get them at that time. Okay, next book is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And this I got at a little free library, so I exchanged it for another book that I dropped off there. Since getting it, so I picked it up because it was a classic, you always hear it talked about. However, I heard a review and something about it kind of bothered me. They talk quite a bit about things happening with young girls, and I just don't feel comfortable reading about that. And this is Survivor. This is Survivor by Chuck Palahniuk. And I just heard a review about this on a little more detail on what it was about, and I just don't want to read it now. And then Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This one I actually read quite a bit of. I thought that I had read only 50% of it, and then I look and I actually read almost all of it, but I DNF'd it. This book is like almost 500 pages long, and I DNF'd it at like the 400 page mark. I know, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it. It took at least half the book or more to even get to a pachinko parlor, and I just was not interested anymore. Oh great, I just choked on my water, so I'm not going to be able to talk now. Okay, just got to get through this. I'm losing my light. Okay, this next one, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. The hardcover version. I did find the paperback at my local library for like, I think it was like $1 or $2. But I wanted to get a hardcover of it. So I ordered this online, and it has that stupid thing on it. It's the sticker that you can't actually take off. So the only thing I could do is put like another sticker over it, because I don't want to see Good Morning America read this. I don't want that on my book. So no, you gotta go, and I'll just keep the paperback. Oh, the first act just tipped over. Okay, this next one, I don't know if I can pronounce this. Caradras? Caradras? I believe it's Greek, so I'm having a little trouble pronouncing it. Caradra? Caradras? God, if anybody knows how to pronounce that, please let me know. Anyway, whatever that word is, Shipwreck. And it's by Angelos Kyprianos. And this one, I saw some good reviews on Amazon. It like popped up as one of those random recommendations because of other books that I had. Of course, it's ocean, pirates, so it's gonna pop up in my recs. And the reviews look good. So I get it. And I start reading it. Sometimes what I do when I first get a book is I start reading a little bit just to get an idea. And sometimes that helps me decide if I want to read it like right then or keep it at the normal order I was going to read it in. And then this one is like immediately, and I think these are like young adult age characters, so already that can be kind of iffy for me. If it's done well, then I'm okay with young adult, but this one just felt really weird. There was like, and again, I'm okay with cussing. I mean, I do it in my real life. I don't want to do it on my channel just because I don't feel comfortable doing that. I want anybody to feel comfortable watching my videos, whether they're friends, family, or people just with kids or whatever, you know, like, I don't want to worry about that. But anyway, but in this, like, and again, I'm okay with it in books, but it has to fit. And in here, they're dropping F-bombs, and in like every phrase these kids say, they're doing that, and it's totally like inappropriate for what's going on. Just because of that, I'm gonna get rid of it. Next one, Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. And classic, I think I got this like at the library for $1 or $2. Just not interested in it anymore. And then we have The Septembers of Shiraz by Dalia Sofer, and I believe this is a historical fiction, Iranian Revolution, which I do like things with that setting in that location, the geography. I've read The Stationery Shop, which was set in Iran, and that was a beautiful story. And I am okay with some historical fiction. However, this one I just kept passing over, and if I keep passing over it, then I'm just gonna pass it along. And this cute little Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I know, it's so cute on. But I got this before I really understood like what it was, and I'm just not into that kind of story. It sounds more like a historical romance, and I understand maybe it has like a gothic fiction aspect, but I don't like the other two aspects of it in regards to this. And I actually did start reading it, and I was just like pushing my way through it, so won't be keeping that. Oh wow, this one, The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This one I actually had plans to read for a book club. It was Emmy's book club. It was over May and June that we were going to read this. However, I was moving. First of all, I was moving in May. And so I was like, I can't take this book on and move. No, I can't do both of those things at the same time. And then in June, I started participating in a readathon. So I hung on to it for a little bit thinking I'd just read it on my own, but I never really had an interest in reading this one. I only picked it up really for the book club. And I have his Crime and Punishment, which I really do want to read. So I'm just going to hang on to Crime and Punishment and then read that one and donate this on. Well, donate it or sell it. Actually, this one I will sell it. And I guess I can say that there's going to be tabs in it. I had divvied these up per day. So there's 30 tabs, I think. I think there's 30 tabs because it was June. Yeah, so basically a day. So each little tab is the daily goal. So maybe I'll keep it in there. Maybe that will be helpful for the next person who takes this. And we have Hard Times by Charles Dickens. Just a little Penguins classic. Got it at a library for like $1 or $2. Just no longer interested in reading it. And the next book is Life, the Universe, and Everything by Douglas Adams. Now this is part of, it's part of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that trilogy. I do have the first one. However, I don't think it's something that I'm really going to read the whole trilogy of, and I'm also missing the second book, I think. Oh, I do have another one by him. The Restaurant at the End of the World. But I don't think that's book number 2, is it? I can't believe that I don't know that. Oh my god, that's kind of embarrassing. But anyway, I'm just gonna unhaul these. If I ever do want to get them, then I'll just get it at that time when I read it. Another chunker is Middlemarch by George Eliot. Yeah. And I picked this up thinking, oh, I definitely want to read more classics, and this is always a good one. Usually I think they read this for school, and I don't have time for that. Then we have The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. This, I believe, has 4 books out in the series. I did have the hardcover of this, and I sold it to half-price books. And then, the reason why I sold it was because I was like, well, it's a cute story, but it's not really something that I'm interested in getting hardcovers for, and I need them all to match. And I was like, well, if I'm not going to get hardcovers for the books, then I'll just get rid of it. And then if I really want to, I'll get the paperback. So I find this paperback at the library bookstore for like $2. So I was like, you know what? Hey, let me get it. And then, no. No, after all, I'm not keeping it. Another library bookstore find was Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. And I do love this cover. That's actually one of the main reasons why I even kept it so long. This sounds like it's supposed to be like a humorous kind of murder mystery. I feel like in the same vein as Thursday Murder Club. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of the impression that I got. And I do love this cover, but I can't keep it just for the cover, And anyway, if I really want to, I can get some art, or I could just draw or make a painting, and then have it that way. Next up, we have The Dry by Jane Harper. I found this book again at a library bookstore for a couple bucks, and I find out that it's a series, and I thought it was a duology. And then I happened to find the second one, Force of Nature, at another library bookstore. So I'm like, awesome, I have the duology now. But no, because it's actually a trilogy. It's actually a trilogy. So the third one, I think, came out somewhat recently, I believe, because it's only in hardcover still. And I just don't want to dedicate that much time. Now, I've heard that these are really good, and every time I've heard a review of it, it does make me want to read it, and that's why I've hung on to it so long. If you think I should change my mind on this and get the third one and read it, please let me know. Otherwise, they're going to be gone. This one might be kind of hard to see. It's a little shiny here, holographic. This is A World Too Near by Kay Kenyon. It has like a holographic effect on it. It's a sci-fi. And this is another one where I didn't realize it was book 2. And so, yeah, I don't know if I really want to invest, because again, they have to match. So that means I would have to find not only a hardcover, but I'd want to have the library binding too with the plastic wrap. I actually kind of like that. I like the feel of it, and I like the sound. I like the sound of it, so I would want the first one in the library binding, which might be a little tricky to find. So I have hung on to it a little bit for that with the intention of looking for it, but I haven't yet, so maybe that's a sign I should just get rid of it. And here we have The Lying Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante. That is who wrote, is that My Dark Vanessa? Oh, My Brilliant Friend. Yeah, she wrote My Brilliant Friend, which I have heard really good things about. I hadn't heard anything about this one, however, another library bookstore find, and it was in good condition, nice hardcover. But this isn't typically the type of story I actually read, and it's been a little bit of time now that I think it's okay to get rid of it. Another library bookstore find, A Man Called Ove. I've heard it both ways. I've heard A Man Called Ove and A Man Called Ove. Now, for me, with my dad's side of the family being from Mexico, this is just a habit that I have. It's like ingrained in my brain. I will always see vowels in like the Spanish sound. So for me, I think that says ove. But I don't know. I've heard ove, but I don't know. If you know the correct pronunciation, please let me know. Thank you. I always like saying things the right way if I can. This is Frederick Bachman. Now, wait, Frederick Bachman. Is this Stephen King? Is this one by him? Or am I thinking of some, oh no, it's a different Bachman. What is it? Oh, Richard. I think it's Richard Bachman, isn't it? The other pen name that Stephen King goes by, right? Am I remembering that correctly? I could just be making things up. Anyway, I've had this for a while, and it sounds kind of like a sad story, and I don't want to read a sad story like that. And this is a book of Picasso's art. However, the back of it, it's ripped a little bit, which is fine. I would just toss the cover and keep it, the hardcover, which I have. I have Van Gogh's. I have the Van Gogh edition of this, but I just don't really like the art too much, so I'm gonna pass that along. I know, is that gonna get me like canceled? I don't like Picasso. Another classic found at a library bookstore, or this might have been a little free library actually. This is Islands in the Stream by Ernest Hemingway, and I would love to read some Hemingway. I don't know if I ever have, maybe outside of high school, which was a while ago. But I do have The Old Man and the Sea. Don't I? I think I do. Oh yeah, I do have The Old Man and the Sea. So I think I'll just keep that one, read that. Actually, that one I think I did read in high school. But sometimes I think it's good sometimes to reread the books that they make you read in school. Not that I'm a huge proponent for public education. I got a whole, we won't go off on a tangent about that. But yeah, if I'm going to read a Hemingway, I'll read Old Man and the Sea, and I'll just pass this along. Next one is Oracle Bones by Peter Hessler. I believe this is historical fiction. It says set in China. Yeah, set in China. And I do love Asian-based stories. However, the historical aspect of it, I'm just not interested in right now. If I ever am again, then I'll pick it up at that time. And another historical fiction, Cher Ami and Major Whittlesey? Oh, that's weird. Those are weird names. Okay. This is by Kathleen Rooney. Again, historical fiction. This is, it's around the time of World War I. I'm not a huge fan of, like, books that are around war or in that time period. That's not really what I enjoy reading. And Leading Men by Christopher Castellani. Yeah, Castellani. Is this another historical fiction? Yeah, historical fiction. The reason why I picked this one up, though, is that it mentions Truman Capote. And so I was like, oh, well, that sounds interesting to read. But I have tried to read it a few different times, and each time I just can't get past the first page, so bye-bye. Next up, we have a nonfiction, and this is Shutting Out the Sun, How Japan Created Its Own Lost Generation by Michael Zelenziger? Zelenziger. Michael Zelenziger. I think that's it. I don't know. And I was interested in reading this. Oh, the glare is kind of messing with the cover of it. But this just sounds kind of depressing. And I already know all about, like, what's going on with, like, the anti-human, like, that's a whole nother topic I'm not gonna get into right now, but I just don't want to read that now. This next one I got in a little free library. It's called The Mother Tongue, and this is a Bill Bryson book. So I think, cheeky kind of like satire. It goes over the English language, different things about the history of it, things like that, and I just don't actually want to read it anymore. This next one, I believe, is this nonfiction? Let's see. Oh, it's biographical and historical fiction. Oh no, author of biographical and historical fiction. Well, I'm sure it's based on real things because it's about the West, going west, so meant to match my mountains by Irving Stone. The monumental saga of the winning of America's far west. And it's quite the chunky book, and I just don't want to do it anymore. No. And then I have this cute little edition of Treasure Island by, is it Robert Louis Stevenson, I believe? Yes. This is actually like a children's edition of it. That's why it's so cute. However, oh, and it has deckled edges as well, which I always love. However, I was going through it and I was going to read it for a readathon, and I go through it and literally one of the pages has been cut out. Just cut out. I'm like, well, no. If I'm going to read it, then I might as well just get a copy that has all the pages. And then similar to that, I have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, another like children's kind of edition, the naked hardcover. Both of these I got at a library bookstore. That's why they usually have like the older style books like this. And this is really nice actually. If you open it up, it has the ribbon bookmark. It hasn't even been written in or anything, which is unusual. So it's in good condition. And it looks like it has some illustrations as well. Oh yeah, that's nice. So that's really nice, but I'm not really interested in reading the story anymore. However, if any of you think that this is a good classic to read, that maybe I should read it, please let me know and I'll reconsider it. Another historical fiction, this one is Love and Ruin by Paula McLean, and this is set in Spain, I believe. Yeah, around the Spanish Civil War, it looks like. So, no. All right, we're getting down to the last 2 books that I'm unhauling, and then I have 6 more books after that that I'm unhauling, but only because I got better editions of them. So we have Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, and I picked this out through Book of the Month. And again, this was early on in my BookTube discovery days, and I didn't know anything about this author or like the other like books and series and things like that. I guess you don't have to read the duology. I believe it's a duology, These Violent Delights and the other one. They say you don't have to read those before you read this, but that you kind of should. And even with that, I was like, okay, you know, I can be okay with that, because I did like the setting. This was set in like 1930s Shanghai, which I'm already interested in that. And it's like a spy story, I think. Is she like a double agent or something? I'm not sure. But I had tried to read it a few times and I just couldn't get into it. So I don't know if it's just the timing. Maybe it's a timing issue and I just need to read it when I'm really in the mood for that. Or if I'm just never gonna read it. So I don't know. If anybody's read this and you really like it, please let me know. And I'll consider reading it when I'm in the mood. And this next one, oh god, this is gonna get me canceled, I know. Now this is another one where I'm guilty of hauling and then unhauling, but I had such true intentions of reading this book, and I wanted to read it, I think in May specifically, because that was that the Asian American Pacific Islander Appreciation or History Month, and so I wanted to read it for that. Now that's Babel by R.F. Kuang or Kong. I've heard it both pronunciations. Now I'm sure we all know what this is about. Now I have tried to read it a little bit, and I'm okay with what I've heard other people critiquing about it, some of the things, but I don't like to feel like I'm being lectured to or talked at, and I feel like that could be what happens in the book. I'm not sure. If anybody says that it's not like that it's not like in your face, over the top, repetitive, or maybe trying too hard to be something in particular. I don't know. I just changed my mind about it. I don't know what else to say. So this book and the next 5 books I'm only unhauling because I got better copies. This is with Gregory Maguire. This one I haven't read yet. However, this one is like the copy that has to do with the play that they had, and so it has pictures of them, you know, the actors during the play, which is all great, and I did like that. However, I found the original edition, which also has illustrations in it, and it doesn't have like the ad, like the promo for the play and stuff like that. So I prefer just the original edition, so I'm going to hang on to that one instead. Next we have Haunted and Hungry. They're short stories by A.J. Spencer, and I just love this cover. Oh my god, it's so cool. This is just 5 short stories. I mean, super short. The whole book's like 30 pages or something like that. These are fun stories. This is indie published. I found out about this book through Merce over at Harpies in the Trees. She does a lot of like indie horror book recommendations, which I love. However, this one, they did not package correctly when they shipped it to me. And it was bent back almost all the way in the back like that. And yeah, it was only $5, but it's still $5 and I want a good copy. Like, that's so annoying. Like, I try to keep my books in as good condition as possible. So to get it brand new like that, no. So I just had them send me a replacement for free. So this one I'm not going to sell because I got the free replacement. So I'll just probably pop this in a little free library. Oh, does Penny want to come say hi? Oh. Oh. Okay. No, she's too busy with the box. Y'all know cats in boxes, I mean. She's cheek checking that thing like crazy. Okay, next one. I'm on my last few here. So we have At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. This is a novella. And if you remember, in my A to Z book tag, I mentioned one of the books I was reading was At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. However, that one was the good edition of it. That one was the Penguin edition. This is just part of the public domain, this story, so anybody can print it. And that's what they did. And I didn't really realize that at the time. I know. I don't know. But also, like, the cover is just kind of, like, generic. And it looks indie published, which is fine. But it's a classic because it's H.P. Lovecraft. So I wanted to get, like, a legitimate edition to make sure I have all of the proper, you know, all the proper words and punctuation and all that. Also, the main thing that triggered me to get rid of this is there's no page numbers. Look, no page numbers. What? And I was like, should I just start writing the page at the bottom of each one? I'm like, I don't want to do that. No. And then I ended up finding out, oh my god, he almost knocked over my water. And then I find out that I could have just, oh, she took my straws. Oh. The straws are stuck to her fur. Penny. Gross. Well, can't use that anymore. Anyway, yeah, so I just got a better edition of it. I don't think I'll sell this one. I'll probably just put this in a little free library or donate it to the library. Next is The Delicate Dependency by Michael Talbot, and this is a novel of the vampire life. And if you remember, this book was actually in my like spooky book recommendation video that I just did. However, I got a better edition of this because I did want the original 1982 edition. However, this one is really beat up. Like, some of the pages are falling out, and then you have like a corner that's missing. So I just got a better edition of the original. Next one that I'm unhauling, Head Like a Hole by Andrew Van Wayne. Not because I didn't like it, because I absolutely loved it. And this is a 5-star all-time favorite. And he's now like an auto-buy author for me. I mean, dare I say, he's up there with Grady Hendrix and Riley Sager for me. I know. I said it though. I said it, okay? Now this one, I'm getting rid of because the same thing that they did with the clown one, the Haunted and Hungry, they just threw it in the bag and then they folded back the whole thing like that. And that's even worse because it's on the bottom where you hold it. It's so annoying. So yeah, I had them send me a free replacement, so I'm not actually going to sell this one because I don't feel right doing that, you know? Like, I got a free replacement. I'm not going to sell this. I'm just going to put it in a little free library. I'm going to leave a note in here saying, like, I'm not unhauling this because it's not good. It's really good. I just got a better edition, and I hope that somebody reads this and loves it. Last book I am unhauling is At Home with the Horrors by Sammy Scott. This is a short story collection. Again, not unhauling because I didn't love it, because I absolutely did. This is probably one of my favorite short story collections. This is, again, what changed my mind about short stories, and now I try to fit in a short story collection each month, and I actually have since reading this. So that's like a tradition I want to keep going. This is excellent. Highly recommend it. I do have some favorites in here that I will go over in my August wrap up. So that will be my next video that I film, probably tomorrow. So probably up next weekend, I would think. But this one didn't have the problem with the bad packing. There's no bent pages or covers or anything like that. However, I was reading it. I was like, wait, what is going on? Why does it feel like... Oh. And there's just a bunch of the pages that are loose like that. And they just straight come out. Like the... Oh no, I have to put it back in the right place. But it's like they didn't get in the glue all the way, you know, with the book. So anyway, I got another copy of that sent to me. So I don't really know what to do about this one. I really want somebody else to read this, but the pages are gonna fall out. So is there a way to fix that? Like, maybe I could put it in a little free library with a note that says, hey, this is excellent, please read it, but be careful, some of the pages fall out. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, y'all, that's it for my unhaul. I didn't mean to rhyme there. Anyway, next video up will be the August wrap up. Oh, like I said, if any of these books you think I should change my mind on and reconsider, please let me know. And I'll think about reconsidering it. And thank you so much for watching. Please like if you liked the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you'd like to leave a comment but you don't know what to say, you can leave a stack of books, the stack of books emoji. See you in the next one.